All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to this webinar, which is organized by IET Malaysia Local Network and Tunku Abdul Rahman University College, or TARUC. Allow me to first introduce myself. I am Lily, representing IET Malaysia Local Network, and I'll be your moderator for today. Please feel free to post your questions throughout the webinar using the chat function in Zoom. We hope to address all your questions towards the end of the webinar. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Goh Kaming from TARUC. Dr. Goh received his Bachelor of Engineering degree and PhD degree from University Technology Malaysia in 2010 and 2015 respectively. He is currently a senior lecturer with TARUC in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Dr. Goh is also a senior member of IEEE and is presently active in IEEE Computational Intelligence Society as part of the executive committee. His current research interests include computer vision and recognition, artificial intelligence, and emotional information analysis. For today's webinar, Dr. Goh will share with us what artificial intelligence is. We see it headlining everywhere now, in video games, the internet, the smartphone, and even brought about deepfake. The purpose of creating AI is to help us solve problems in our daily lives, such as identifying a picture, analyze or predict stock prices, reading license plate, and many more. While AI is getting more and more common, will it be replacing our jobs in the future? Or will it replace us? More importantly then, does AI have emotions? Dr. Goh Kaming will humbly share his opinions regarding the concept behind AI and how it can be used to understand our feelings. I now welcome Dr. Goh to deliver his talk entitled AI versus Human Emotions. Over to you, Dr. Goh.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lim Lili. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Goh Kaming. Are you able to hear me, everyone? If you can hear me, just simply type a hi in the chat box. Thank you, so that I can know that you are responding. Okay, thank you. So, okay, thank you for your attendance. So, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Goh Kaming from Tunku Abdul Rahman University College. Okay, today I would like to talk about the artificial intelligence, AI versus human emotions. But before I proceed to my presentation, I would like to put a disclaimer first. All the content, all the pictures, or the data shown in this presentation are for educational purpose only and for the non-commercial purpose. If there's any similarity, it's merely coincidence. Okay, so thank you for joining us today. So please allow me to share some of my little knowledge about artificial intelligence and the human emotions. So before we proceed, this is me. Okay, I'm Dr. Goh Kaming. I'm a senior lecturer from Tunku Abdul Rahman University College, as introduced by Dr. Lim Lili just now. And my expertise is in image processing, computer vision, and machine learning. So I'm also involved in the IEEE senior members, IET, or also maybe the APNS. So even though I look young, I know, but I'm already 30 plus years old. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm a lecturer, not a student, even though I look like a student. Okay. So before I proceed to my presentation, I would like to ask some simple questions to all the audience. And if you have any idea, please type your answer in the chat box. Don't worry, these are the very simple questions. It's not a pop quiz. Okay, first thing before we start, what is this? Can anyone tell me? Okay, this is just a very simple question. You can see in our daily life or kitchen. Anyone can tell me what is this? Okay, mop. Okay, maybe you are wondering why this speaker are asking some stupid question. Don't get me wrong, I will tell you why I asked this later. Lester Ling said this is KFC. Good answer. Okay. Any other answer other than mop? No, right? Okay, I believe this is a common sense. Everyone knows that this is a mop. What about this? What is this? Anyone knows? Banana. Good answer. Thank you for the answer. Spaghetti. Okay, there are many weird answers. Some of them saying this is a bigger noodle. Yes, it does look like a bigger noodle. Some of them saying that this is spaghetti. But I believe if you are having the common sense, this is also a mop. Okay. Both of them are a mob. This is a mob, and this is also a mob. Not a noodle, not spaghetti, not banana. It's a mob. Just that this is in a yellow color. Okay, let's come to a more challenging thing. Okay, first thing first, tell me what's the biggest one. What is this? Anyone knows? A mug, yeah. A bowl, okay. Any other answer? Bowl, yes. Okay, I believe most likely you will answer a bowl for this. What about this? The top right corner one. What is this? A glass. It does look like a glass. A cup, yeah. Something like a cup. Okay. Any other answer? A cup. Okay. I think most likely you'll answer that this is a cup or this is a box in a circle shape, right? What about this? The bottom one. What is this? A tape. Yep. Any other answer? PVC. Okay. Any other answer? Okay, it's just a tape. Yes. Okay, but the answer given here is quite creative. Last time when I give a similar picture to other audience, they just tell me this is a tape, this is a box, without any banana or any other thing else. Okay, let's see the answer. This is a rice bowl, just that it's a big one. And this is a plastic box in a circle shape, or you can say that it's a cup, no problem. Then this is a tape, no doubt. Okay, you might be wondering, why am I asking this question? Okay, let's proceed to my main topic today. Okay, what is vision and intelligence? Okay, if you are a human being, we see the world through our eye. Okay, when the time we are born, we are coming to the world, we understand the world through our eye. Then when we are understanding, when we are looking at it, we start thinking, what is that? We use our brain to process it. So we can know that vision, our eye, but intelligence comes from our brain. Okay, everyone knows that. Okay, we see the world through our eye, then we think use our brain. But in our experience, we know that this is a bowl, a cup, or a tape. We also know that this is a mop. We also know that this is a mop, even though some of you saying that this is a banana. Okay, in our experience, we understand, we see everything in our kitchen, in our daily life. We see this everywhere. We see from when our younger time to now. Then, based on our experience, we look at all these items using our eye. Then, we understand all the items using our brain. We can find that both of these two things having the same characteristic is used to mop the floor. Okay, he got a lot of the fabric. Then these three items, even though he share the same characteristic, three of them are in the round shape. But based on the size, based on the color, based on whatsoever feature, you know that this is a bowl, this is a tape. Okay, even though all are in the circle shape. Okay, all these things, we call it as the learning process. We learn it from our younger time until now. We learn from our kindergarten, high school, until you are undergraduate, or even you are studying PhD, we are keep learning. We keep understanding. And nowadays, I believe these two things are very common in your daily life. Okay, everyone is holding a camera, even a simple camera or a DSLR camera, or even this camera is integrated with your smartphone. Everyone is holding a smartphone. Here comes a smartphone. A phone can have maybe 108 megapixels. It's getting higher and higher resolution. Then we can simply take a picture. Before eating, we take a picture. Okay, before we go somewhere else, we take a picture. Before we go visiting, we punch a card, we take a picture everywhere. Then you can see that we can see a lot of the image nowadays, even in our social media. Okay, one can simply take a picture, then upload straight away, very fast. But with all the images that we can obtain nowadays, but how can we fully utilize it? Okay, here comes the computer vision. Okay, as a human being, you use your eye to see, you use your brain to think. But what about computer? At first, we need to know what is computer vision. Okay, for the computer vision, we are going to utilize all the image, then he helped us to analyze the picture. That's why we call as a computer vision. But if we compare this to the hardware, to the computer, to the machine, we use the camera to help us to see the world. Then we use the computer to help us to analyze the picture. Then here comes the AI. AI part comes from our computer, our programming, our coding. Okay, we teach the computer to see the world. Okay, what is artificial intelligence? When you think of artificial intelligence, we're thinking about the robot. This is common sense because we see a lot of the Hollywood movie. Okay, we got a good robot, but we also got a bad robot. Okay, if you see a lot of the Hollywood movie, when you think about AI, AI is the one who coming back to kill us. Okay, because we created them, then we slave them. That's why they coming back to kill us. But is there a good robot or a bad robot? What is artificial intelligence? Just now we talked about computer vision. Okay, computer vision, we use the camera or our smartphone to take a picture. But how are we going to understand the image or understand the picture taken? But what is artificial intelligence? Before we start, we need to understand what is artificial. Artificial is a human made. Okay, we stimulate something. Okay, but intelligence is the human ability to learn the knowledge and the skills. By combining these two items, artificial intelligence is the field that the knowledge or the field of the machine able to perform the task by simulating the human intelligence. In short, we are putting a brain inside the computer. Okay, can you understand that? Which means that we are trying to using the computer to simulate an artificial brain inside there. So that's why we are putting a brain inside the computer. Ask the computer to help us to analyze the world. Okay, by integrating the computer vision and the AI, we are teaching the computer to see the world right now. Okay, but how? How can they learn? How can they understand all the images? Okay, let us compare the human being and the computer, the way learning. Okay, at first I would like to talk about the human first. Okay, when you are human, how do you learn? Okay, you are human. For example, we are given an example of dogs and the cats. For example, of dogs, we got different kind of the breed of the dogs. We got the Labrador, we got a Husky, we got a Chihuahua, different type of the dogs. Okay, from our younger time, you can see a lot of dogs, maybe a stray dog also. Then your parents may teach you how to differentiate. Your parents may teach you, okay, this is a dog. He got 2 ears, then 1 nose, 2 eyes, then 4 legs, and the furry. Then you learn. Another way is you learn how to differentiate by yourself. Okay, you understand that the dog maybe the size is bigger than the cat. Then the dog maybe is much more active than a cat. A cat is cooler than a dog, something like that. You learn to differentiate through your experience when you are in the world. But what about the computer? Let us compare the human and the computer side by side. Okay, computer, you feed him a lot of the images of the dogs and cats and the label with all the labels. You give him a picture telling that, okay, inside here, there's a dog. Give him a picture of the cat, inside here, there's a cat. Then, in the first way, you tell it all the mathematical equation to differentiate. For example, if you want to understand this dog, you want to get the color of the dog. Maybe the dog is in a white color. Maybe he got a bigger size of the shape. Okay, maybe he got 4 legs. Then you tell him all the mathematical equation. Then he learn it. Or he learned how to differentiate using the deep learning. DL is the deep learning. Okay, which means that you just tell him a bunch of the image with the dogs and cats and the labels only. Then you tell me, okay, this is a dog and this is a cat. You go and understand what is it about. Okay, so this is the computer way. Compared to side by side, human, your parent teach you how to differentiate cats and dogs. Then you are the parents of the computer. You teach the computer how to understand cats and dogs by telling him all the mathematical equation. or you learn differentiate by yourself. Also, you tell him all the labels, then he learn to differentiate by himself. Okay, this is the much modern way. So compared to these two ways, the first way is the conventional way of the machine learning. Okay, we also call it as supervised learning. And this way is a more modern way, latest trend. Right now, everyone is talking about the deep learning. Okay, deep learning is the AI actually. So it's one of the AI, it's not the AI, it's part of the AI. So it's the latest trend and it's also under the supervised learning. Okay, so let's see the conventional way in the machine learning. Okay, let's take back an example of a mob. Okay, we take a picture, then we enhance the image, then we select the important information from the pictures, then we pass it to the computer, then you teach him the algorithm, teach him all the formula, then he start to training and analyze. This thing we call it as a classification or a learning process. So eventually in the end, he will learn what is the output. So from this step to this step is a way to teach your computer how to think. But what is it about? How to understand how to select the important information. So let's see the next slide. Conventional way, how does it work? So for example, this is a mob. Everyone knows that. We are human, we know that. Okay, this is a mob because we know the function. It can be used to mop the floor. But how are you going to tell the computer what is the function? Because computer doesn't know what is the function. For him, it's just the pictures only. It's just a bunch of the mathematical metrics. So you have to tell him, in this mob, in the conventional way, he has the shape something like this, in the triangle shape. Then he got a lot of fabric. Maybe you can use the line detector to detect all the line. Then he also got a stick. Okay, it's in the rectangular form. Okay, then you know the shape, you know all the line, you know the rectangular form of the shape. You extract all the information. At first, maybe it's a white color, triangle the line. Maybe there's some texture on the fabric. Then the stick in the rectangular shape. By taking all this information, we call it as a feature extraction. Then the next step is the classification, which means that we are putting all this information to the computer. Then the computer will learn how does the mob looks like. But what about this mob? Right now you zoom the picture. Does it look like noodles? It doesn't look like mob anymore. It doesn't have the rectangular shape of the stick. It also don't have the triangle shape. Maybe it has a line or the texture only. But if you base on the previous feature, you need all these features to understand that there's a mob. But what about this? Right now we can only see the white color and the fabric only. But where's the stick? Where's the triangle shape? So when you are using the previous algorithm to apply in this picture, the computer may not know that what is it. But what about this? This one, it looks like a spaghetti, right? Maybe it looks like a piece, or it looks like a bigger noodle, like somebody just said this now. Okay, and all these fabric are in a long rectangular shape. By putting all these things to this computer, he will tell you, hey, what is this? Are you fooling around with me? Are you kidding me? Is this a mob? I don't think so. He maybe tell you that this is a noodle or something. Okay. Okay. All this are mob. You can say all these are mob. But all the shapes are totally different. This one got a rectangular shape. This is having a stick. But this one don't have a rectangular shape. And this one is in the reverse way. Then this one, it looks like a noodle more than a mob. So your computer may be saying that, okay, wait, this is an error, stop bullying me. I don't want to understand this anymore. Okay, so basically this is all the conventional way. But what about the next picture? All these are circle. And the picture may be black and white some more, no color information. All the computer can see is just a picture of 3 circles only. So the computer may have an error. He will tell you, hey, what are the circles? What are the differences? He couldn't understand that. Okay, so we call it as a low-level feature. All the shape, all the color, points, age, whatsoever, etc. Then we extract it using the different algorithms. So this is the conventional way. And I would say that this is a little bit, I would say conventional, not tedious. It's just a little bit handcrafted. I would say the more proper way is handcrafted. You need to design all the code, all the mathematical operation by your own. Okay, that's why we call it as a handcrafted feature, all this thing. But the trend now, everyone is using deep learning and also convolutional neural network. Both are the same thing. Then this is part of the latest trend, and everyone is using it. Okay, due to the big data, and we can get a lot of the pictures nowadays. But how does it work? How does the deep learning work? So, okay, at first, you need to get all the pictures. Then you need to tell him all the labels. Okay, not only 4 pictures. You need to give him about maybe 10,000 of the pictures of the map, different shape, different pattern. Okay, then you need to label all these are a map. Then you pass it to the deep learning. Then the deep learning, at the first part, he will extract the feature automatically by himself, and he learns himself. After that, he will classify and tell him that, okay, all these things are the map or map. Okay, this is the impressive way of the deep learning, provided that if you have more than enough pictures and the good neural network. Okay, so by understanding all the deep learning, all the map, all the balls, tables, for him it's just a very easy peasy only. He has no problem on understand this. Okay, all you need is a lot of the pictures with the labels, and right now, data is the most important in the world right now. Okay, before I proceed to the emotion part, I would like to show you a video of the object detection. Okay, this code is contributed by author. His name is Miss Alina. Thank you for his contribution on the code. So if you want to get a code, you can scan the QR code here, or you can go to this link. So let me demonstrate a video of the object detection. Okay, this is a pre-recorded video. Okay, you can see that it is detecting me as a person. Okay, but you can see that there are a lot of small box here because there are some background detect. But it can also detect that this is a chair. Okay, behind me there's a chair. Then after I go out and go in, it can detect me as a person. Right now I raise up a border, detect as a border. Okay, another shot of the border, still can detect as a border. Okay, the program likes the chair so much, it keep on detecting a chair. And then bigger border, you can see that it can differentiate different type of the border. Okay. Even though if I zoom in and zoom out, see I lift the picture, I go down, it still can detect me as a person. It's still like the chair. Every time should detect a chair one, no matter what. Okay, if you want to get to know more about the code, you can scan the QR code, then you can play around with the code. Okay, so this is the common project of the object detection, and by integrating the computer vision and the AI. But where can we see all the computer vision and the AI application? We can see these 2 things everywhere right now. The most common one, for example, healthcare. Okay, biomedical imaging. For example, if you are taking a picture, then you want to identify whether there's any maybe lung tumor. You can use the computer vision and the AI to help you to do the job. By the way, this thing is to assist the doctor to improve the diagnosis only. It's not going to replace the doctor, don't worry. Okay. Furthermore, you still need the doctor for the diagnosis, not the image processing or the AI. In the future, I don't know. Maybe in one day it can bypass it. But right now, it's still in the stage of assisting doctor to detect the disease, not to replace the doctor. Don't get me wrong, okay? Okay, the next part, maybe agriculture. You can use it to recognize the plant disease or recognition. Right now, everyone is talking about maybe agriculture 4.0 or industry 4.0. Maybe you can use these 2 integration to help you to do the plant disease or the recognition. Or even the banking service, biometric identification, thumbprint, or maybe iris recognition possible. Or maybe the industry. Many industries that have the defect on their product, you might use the defect detection or the machine vision to help him to understand all the defects. Or maybe the social security. action recognition, maybe you can detect whether the person is doing any crime, or maybe you can help him, use him to understand a scene, or maybe, okay, let me retail. You also can apply it in the retail. Okay, maybe the facial recognition. You might come to know that in some country they use the facial recognition for doing the online banking or the e-wallet payment. Some of them already do that. Or even the product recognition. They help you to recognize the product. Maybe they can help you to understand which product is the best seller in the shop. Okay, this can help them to analyze and do the data analytics to improve their business. Okay, you can see that computer vision and AI right now everywhere nowadays, or even your phone. Your phone also got a facial recognition to unlock your face. Okay, you can see everywhere right now. And AI can make our life easier, but does it have an emotion? How many of you think that it has an emotion? Can you answer that? Okay, anyone? How many people think that AI has the emotion? If no, okay, I'll say no. All right, any other answer? Anyone think there's an emotion there? Okay, majority say no. Okay, good. All right. Okay, some of you may have wondered that, is there any emotion in the AI, in the robot? Because there are a lot of the Hollywood movie. Okay, maybe in the future. Okay, let's see whether there's any emotion inside the AI. Okay, for the current stage, it doesn't have any emotion, but it can just mimic our emotion. In the other word, it can pretend how it feels, but it cannot actually feel. How does it say? For example, if you have a specific scene, the scene is to trigger your sadness. Okay, the AI maybe it can say that, okay, I am sad, because based on all the criteria given here, he pretend to be sad. The condition, the output should be sad. But for him, he doesn't have any emotion inside here. Because in the AI, inside the AI are all the mathematical operations only. There's no emotions inside the AI. Okay. Okay, next slide. Okay, there's no emotion in AI. All the emotions is inside us. Okay, I believe everyone is agree with this based on the answer given just now. Okay, but it can help us to understand our emotions. But how? You might wondering how. Okay, there are 6 basic emotions in our human being. Okay, the first one, this is me. Do I look cute? Okay. Okay, this is a happy face. I believe everyone agree. Okay, what is this emotion? Any guess? I believe this is quite a obvious emotion, right? This is a sadness face. Okay, this is sad face. Then what about this? This is an angry face. Okay. Then this is a little bit tricky a bit. It is a little bit similar to this. These two emotions is sharing a little bit similarity. What do you think about this emotion? Anyone knows? Any guess? Doubt? Shy? Okay. Shy is the first answer that I ever heard. Okay. First time I heard this. Disappointing. Okay. Any other answer? Scared. No mood. Okay. Scared. It's quite close to scared. Actually, it's disgust. Okay. Especially during the mouth, you can see that the mouth is tightened. Then you see the eyebrow also tightened. It's a sign of the disgust. What about this? This emotion. Anyone? Angry but face not red. Shock. Okay. Tan Pei Xuan give a good answer. This is a surprise. It's more like a surprise. Okay. Especially when you see the eyebrow is moving, the mouth is open. Then you see the eyebrow is moving. There's some wrinkle on the forehead here. This is just a surprise emotion. And this is a neutral emotion. So scientists in the psychology, they have these 6 basic emotions. But how are we going to understand this emotion using the computer? Okay, based on our experience, we can know that, okay, this is for sure the happy emotion because the guy is smiling. Okay, you see the lip is going upward. Then this is a sad because the lip is going downward. That angry face, you see all the things coming together, all the things tied up together. Then this is a little bit hard to say. Some of you say scared. Actually, it's quite close to scared, I would say. As it's more like disgust and scared, the combination between these. Surprise, quite obvious when your mouth is open. Maybe when your eye is keep on opening. This is surprise. Neutral emotion, no emotion. But how is the computer going to understand this? Okay, if our human being, we need to see all these regions to understand the emotion. At first is the eyebrow, then our eye, then our mouth, whether it's open or not. Also some wrinkle over here. It will give us some hint to understand the emotion. But what about the computer? Computer, it will also have the low level feature and the high level feature. Okay, at first, we use the different features, different mathematical operations to get the eyebrow, get the eye, get this, all these things, using mathematical, extract all the information, then put it to the machine. Then teach the machine to understand the emotion. And we also got a high level method, which is deep learning, which means that we are going, okay, before we proceed, this is the conventional way, which I have mentioned just now. Take picture, extract the face, select the important feature, training, analyze, classification, then output. Then this is the way to teach your computer how to think. But for the deep learning, okay, deep learning base, you need to take all the pictures with the sad face, happy face, all the emotion face, and put inside the deep learning. Then it will extract the feature on its own, then it will give you a result, provided your emotion picture is more than enough, maybe 10,000 pictures, maybe 100,000 pictures, so that the computer can understand more and more. Okay. Okay. So here's another code is demonstrating the emotion understanding using the deep learning. The code is contributed by the Mr. Omar Anyam. Thank you for the code. And if you are interested, you can scan the QR code for the code. Okay, this is me again. So neutral, happy face. Yes, you can see some angry face. Okay, it's not good in the surprise. Angry is okay. Scared is also okay. Some of you saying that maybe they are scared or maybe they're angry. Okay. Okay, you can see happy face is the easier to be understand because happy face is the easier one to obtain the picture. Okay, everyone can pretend to be happy. Okay, but you can see that how good is the facial recognition also. Okay, when I keep on moving, it still can detect my emotion. Oh, sorry for the last face. Okay, but what if someone is faking the emotion? Can you fake the emotion? Everyone can fake the emotion, right? Okay, for example, just now in the video, I can pretend that I'm smiling. Okay, I keep on laughing there, then move here, move there. I can pretend that I'm having a sad face. Okay, but what if someone is faking the emotion? So let's see. Okay, tell me what is the emotion of this face? This is an easy question, right? Happy face. I believe you may answer that. But what about this? Can you see any emotion? Anyone can see any emotion in the right face, my face? Anyone? Or do you think it's a poker face? How many one think that this is a poker face? If you think this is the poker face, then you type a yes. Okay. Some of you say yes. No. Lim Jising seems a handsome face. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. Okay. No, no. Okay. Some of you say no, this is not a poker face. Okay. Neutral face. So you say yes, this is a poker face. Okay. The truth is, both are the happy face. Surprise, right? But how do you consider this is the happy face? Here comes a thing. We call it as the micro expression. But what is it about? Okay, micro expression. is one kind of the emotion. Basically, this micro expression it happens involuntarily when people are trying to hide their real emotion. The thing is, it's a very, very subtle until you cannot see it because it happens very, very fast. It happens between 1/15 or 1/25 frames per second. Basically, it's just happened in a very sudden and you cannot realize it. But how subtle is it? Because it's a subtle, because it's too micro and you cannot hide it. Everyone will show the face when they are facing something. But how subtle is that? Let's see this video and tell me what do you see. Okay, can anyone see anything? Anyone can tell me? Anyone? You can type in the chat box if you see something. Maybe I will play again. Okay, some of you saying that lips is up. Okay, lips is up. Sudden short smile. Okay, for those who cannot see that, focus on the lip here. Okay, there are very, very slight raise of the edge, like the D. Kaiwan said. Okay, this is the micro expression. Actually, this is not so micro. I show you a more micro one. This one. This one very hard to see. Okay, can anyone see that? Can anyone see anything? Some of you saying eyebrow. Okay, let me play again. Okay, can anyone see anything? Anyone? If you don't see anything, you type a no. Okay, looks like many people cannot see anything here. Okay, I want you to focus on here, other than eye blinking. Eye blinking is not an emotion actually. Focus on the lip here. Focus on the lip here. Can you see anything on the lip? The lip is slightly moving outward. Okay, I play again. Here. Can you see it? I know it's hard to see. Basically, it's a very, very tiny movement in here. Okay, this is a micro emotion. Basically, when I'm taking this video, I'm watching an American sitcom. Okay, it's a comedy. So there's a very, very tiny movement. It's too small until you cannot see that. That's why we call it as a micro expression. Okay, if you couldn't see it, you message me later. I will send you the video, slow motion one. I couldn't play it today. Okay, so this is a micro expression. So basically, the micro expression will have these 6 basic emotions, but it's much subtler. It also have the happy face, sad, angry, disgust, surprise, and neutral face. And it also have the same characteristic. For example, if there's a surprise, the eyebrow will move outward. But it's a very, very subtle one. For example, like happy faces now. Okay, the video that I show you now, a tiny move a bit, but you cannot see it because it's too small. But when you're using the mathematical algorithm, or maybe you are using the high-speed camera, you maybe can see that. Okay, so basically, micro expression also contains these 6 emotions, just that it's much subtle only. So compared to these two, we got a macro emotion, which is the emotion that we can pretend. Okay, it happens slowly, people can pretend it, and it cannot reveal actual emotion, and it can be easily detected. You can pretend you're a happy face. You can pretend that you are a sad face. But compared to the micro emotion, it happens very fast, and people cannot pretend because it happened too fast and involuntary. And it can reveal the actual emotion, and it's not easy to be detected. Okay? So the problem is, see this. The left corner is the neutral face. The right one is the one with the slightly emotion, the happy face. The lip moving upward just now. I just print screen from there. Okay. You see that basically by using a naked eye, we can see there's no difference between these two emotions. And right now, human being only can achieve 47% accuracy of identifying the real emotion using the microexpression. Only 47%. Okay, human expert. Okay, there are a bunch of the people that are trained on understanding this emotion by combining the emotion and the body language together. So that's why people are trying to use the computer to help them to do the task. So the partner is, at first, you need to extract the face. Then you need to spot where is the micro emotion. For example, if you record a video, then you need to identify which frame is having the micro emotion. Then you send in for the recognition. Then you give him the result. Okay. So in the 2018, we propose a method. We call it as a CSLMP. It's a low-level method, and it can help us to obtain the 80% accuracy under the control environment. How to do this? Basically, we take two frames. One is a happy face, one is a neutral face. Then we minus these two together. Then we get the difference in the image. Then we extract the low-level feature. Then we put it at the computer to understand what is the emotion. Okay, so this is the pipeline. If you feel want to know more about this method, you can go to read my paper. The paper is in the SPIE Digital Library. Okay, but other than my method, there are quite a lot of the method proposed in this field. We got the low-level features, mid-level or deep neural network. Low-level feature like the LBP optical flow is quite a common method to use as a inside the micro emotion recognition. Also, we got a mid-level. Mid-level feature is the combination of few features to give you a better understanding. And also, people are trying to using the deep neural network to tackle the micro expression right now. But the thing is, there are still a limitation in this area. Okay, what's the limitation? Low accuracy. The highest one is the 80% only. Okay, like I showed you just now, my result can only get 80%. Then data not enough. How are you going to get the data? You see, it's even very hard for a human being to understand the emotion. Hard for the human being to recognize which frame got the emotion, but how are you going to get the data? This is still a very challenging task right now in the micro expression recognition. Then you need a high-speed camera, but high-speed camera I think no longer a problem because it's quite affordable right now. Even our smartphone also got a high-speed camera right now. And it cannot be used in the natural world yet. When the time when you collect all the data, you need to have a control environment, which means that the lighting is good, everything is good, the people doesn't move much, and also you need the human expert to help you to identify whether there's any emotion inside the video. And it cannot be implemented in the real time right now. Right now, you can only record a video, then put into the computer for the analysis purpose. But you still cannot apply this and apply in the real time. You cannot put the camera in front of your friend and understand whether he's happy or not. Still cannot do that. Okay, for the micro emotion. But for the macro emotion, yes, you can apply in the real time. For example, the video that I showed just now, I record in the real time actually. Okay, so, but if this thing is success, where can it be applied? Psychology and counseling. Psychology and counseling doesn't definitely this because they are dealing with all the patients with the emotion disturbance. Okay, with this technology, you can help them to identify that whether the patient is in trouble or not. Or maybe you can use for the police investigation. Some of them saying that this is a lie detector, soft lie detector. Okay, it can help to tell that whether the criminal is lying or not. Or maybe the customer service satisfaction. You can put inside your counter, put in front of the counter, then see whether the customer is happy with your service. But if this, you will have a privacy problem. What if the customer doesn't want you to understand his real emotion? Is it a privacy problem? Okay, this is the very good topic to discuss, but I'm not going to discuss it today. But what I want you to know this is there might be a privacy issue when you are trying to understand someone. Okay, somebody may not want you to understand him. He may have some secret, but if you apply this, you may intrude his privacy. Okay, so as a conclusion here, artificial intelligence is the latest trend, as we agree just now, but it's still very hard for it to understand our true emotion. because it happened too fast. Micro expression recognition is still a very long way to go. So if you are interested in this topic, please join the research if you're interested. You can join in terms of the collecting data, or maybe developing different algorithm, or maybe join the research. Okay, so I think that's the conclusion for my topic today. Thank you, everyone. Any question?
Thank you very much, Dr. Goh. I hope everyone enjoyed the information and presentation and an engaging presentation you've just given. We will now spend some time to answer some questions. Participants, please feel free to type in your questions in the chat box. We will address them. Meantime, while waiting for our participants to type in the questions, I'll try and ask some questions to help out participants to trigger your thoughts.
Okay.
Dr. Goh, maybe you can answer, can ME recognize a mix of emotions? What do you think?
So far you recognize the emotion frame by frame. So for every single second, he can only understand one emotion only. But even if the human being, when we say that the mixed emotion, actually the emotion happened too fast, it makes us thought that there's a mix of the emotion inside. Maybe in some of the second, actually there are two different emotions at 2 seconds, 2 different seconds, but we feel that it's a mix together. So for the ME recognition, it recognizes the emotion frame by frame. For the particular frame, he can only understand one emotion, but not the mixing. But if there are some emotion with the sharing the same characteristic, he might misunderstand it. So for example, for the happy face and the surprise face, the eyebrow is moving upward. So the computer, the ME recognition may have mistakenly understand the happy face as a surprise face if the data is not enough. So that the data is very important for training the AI right now. Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
any question?
Yeah, I think participants are still thinking about questions. Okay, maybe I'll just ask another questions.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that AI. What is the motivation for AI to be able to understand? You mentioned earlier that probably AI can only just identify and help us to understand human emotion. But do you
Yes.
think that there's any benefit for AI to be able to feel and react according to their feelings in future applications? Or would
This
that be
is
a
a
dangerous?
very good question actually. Feeling or not, I couldn't say actually, to be frank. By having the feeling, actually feeling is a very good thing. Feeling can help us to have empathy when we are trying to comfort someone. Okay, this is what we have, what a human have. But if the AI have the empathy feeling, maybe he can help us to do the job to comfort someone. But I couldn't tell that whether if the AI is having the emotion, will they be angry on us? I really couldn't say that. So, but for the current state is for sure AI doesn't have any emotion, and I don't think human will be happy if they are having the emotion also for the current state. So let me give you an example. We design a car, okay? The car helps us to travel, but we couldn't expect we couldn't expect us to run faster than the car, right? Right. But the car is the tool to help us, but not to replace us. Same thing goes to the AI. AI is the tool that help us in the daily life and not to replace us. We cannot expect a car to have an emotion also. So we also cannot expect a robot or AI to have an emotion. Okay, this already raised up to a philosophy issue, I would say that. Okay, so this is what I thought.
Okay. We've heard recently also that with this COVID-19 cases and there's a lot of usage of AI to diagnose COVID-19. Could you maybe comment a little bit on the advances in this health diagnosis?
Okay, some of my students, they are doing the COVID image diagnosis in using the AI, using the deep learning also. So, but in the AI community, they have specified rules. They claim that the AI, the understanding, the result diagnosis given by the AI cannot replace the doctor diagnosis. Okay, this is the first thing you need to know. Because all the things, we still need the doctor to judge. Some of the disease may have the community. For example, COVID-19 also we are having a flu as a symptom. But as a human being, normal flu is also having a similar symptom. But how are we going to diagnose it? Maybe AI can help us. They help us to take an image, then he scan our lung, then see what's the thing inside. Then he pass the detected item inside to let the doctor to judge whether there's a COVID confirmed case or not. That is the current stage that AI can do. But AI, as I heard from my friends, other researchers, they also claim that doctor also hope that there are some AI work can be designed to assist them to do the task. Because as you know, that right now the COVID case is getting more and more. Okay, they also hope that there are some intelligent work that can help us to give some output so that they can analyze based on output. So I would say that the AI is the one who assists the doctor to do the diagnosis. And the accuracy is good, but there's currently no way to replace the doctor right now. That's what I thought. Personal opinion. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I think we are moving towards the end of the webinar now. Thank you again, Dr. Goh, for answering the questions and also for the wonderful presentation. It
Okay,
was a
thank you.
pleasure to have you with us. This concludes our webinar. Thank you everyone and the participants for attending. We hope that you have benefited and enjoyed this presentation. Before
Okay.
we adjourn, can we take a short photo? Maybe just me and Dr. Goh. We can take a
Okay.
photo.
Okay, wait, let me open back my title first.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2. Okay. Thank you very much,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.